Okay. No, you don't get that. Hold on. I tried to add you apparently at some point, Trantha, and I've obviously added the wrong person, which is hilarious to me because some rando has been VIP in my chat for fucking who knows how long. There we go. Rectified. What are you doing, Phoenix? Thank you for the follow, Boopers. So I'm just patting Phoenix, my cat, for a hot second and like making him like, I don't know. I've got like a Gucci spot on him and he's like licking furiously at me. There we go. Alright. Okay, Phoenix has been patted. Bless has been VIP'd. And I'm apparently getting raided. Jesus. Fucking hell. Invincible, welcome in. Raiders, welcome in. Like crap. Hold on. I remember that shout-out's a thing. What are you guys doing? What are you up to? Hold on. When I can spell, because apparently my brain is just like, you know what? Spelling? No. Maybe? Yes. There we go. That worked. I suspect that you're playing Diablo 2. Because I feel like that's that's the natural order. I told you it was coming. Yeah, you did say that. Hold on, I missed 2 messages just before you raided. Just give me a hot second. A lot of self-care, readjust priorities a bit, but things happen fast. Yeah, I kind of figured. What else is going on? Hello. Yeah. Welcome in, everybody, by the way. Anybody that I have missed saying hello to, hello. I'm Acrylic, and I'm playing Diablo 2 Resurrected, obviously, but I'm doing an OCD nostalgia playthrough. So basically, I'm recreating the character that I made when I was 12, and I had really bad OCD. So she's terrible on purpose, and it's hilarious. It's been so fun. But we're in Act 4 in Hell at the moment, so we're getting close. I'm trying to basically... Hold on. Let me just move my leg there. So, well, thank you for the follow, Rycroft. So, basically, when I was 12, I had obsessive compulsive disorder. I still do, but not in the same way. Okay, so my stats, my original character was always called Kelly in every Diablo. She's an Amazon. And my stats, you know how you get 5 stat points? I had to put 1 into each one and then put the extra 1 into the one underneath it until they're all equal, right? So after about 4 or so levels, they become equal, okay? So the base value is all about the same at the moment. It's terrible. And it makes it really, really hard for me to get gear that I can use at my level that does damage. Okay, so it's really fucking difficult, but this also applies to my skill tree. So I have got everything's currently on a 6 and it's working up to 7s. Once I've got this whole page up to 7s, then I can go back over to my bow and crossbows, and I've got to put points into these 3. I can only use my immolation arrow, and like it doesn't matter if the thing's immune to fire. So I still have to use immolation arrow unless I think I can take them up close with my offhand weapon, okay? And I don't have good gear, so I can't take a hit. I'm like a 1-hit dead, okay? So I have to be really confident that I can actually hit them with this thing without getting hit myself if it's something that I really just can't take down with fire, okay? My Valkyrie is also not that strong because obviously it applies to her too. But the worst is Eliza. Eliza is my helper, and she's the first one they gave me. She's got to come all the way through to killing Baal, and she only gets my hand-me-downs. So whatever I used, she gets after I upgrade my gear. And she can only have gear that I have used to fight and defend myself with. So her gear is crap. It is beyond crap. And so, yeah, I don't have really good gear. I have okay gear that I can use, but it is not strong. I spent 5 million gold on trying to get a bow, and this is a piece of shit that I got. So yeah, and my, you know when you get gear that you have to put your name into, you know, your character's name gets imbued on or whatever, I have to keep those. So I have a bow and I have a morning star, and they will take up a page of my inventory, and I can only use the one page of stash because we only used to have one page of stash inventory. So I'm very limited on space. I can use charms and crap to go up against the bosses, but so far in Hell I've been doing really good and I haven't needed it. But yeah, I did during Nightmare. And like I have like fuck bugger all resistances and crap, so fights are hard. Especially since Hell everything regenerates and everything's fire immune and stuff. It makes it really hard. Also welcome in Abracadabra. She can't be too terrible if she's made it to Hell. She has died an excessive quantity of times. Just be clear with that. So the other thing too is that I try not to let Eliza die because she cost me like 49,000 when she dies. So occasionally I get a piece of gear that's like 35,000 or something like that, sell value or whatever, right? And I'm like, oh cool, I've got like one Eliza or almost an Eliza, a quantity of like money and stuff. Whereas like, you know, I'm trying to pick up everything so that I can fill up my stash of gold so that then I can come to a trader and gamble for gear that can work on my character. Because that's the only way I can get gear that I can use. Like sometimes I'm lucky and I pick up something outside, but I haven't been lucky in a long time. I haven't got good rings. Like look at this shit. It's like 10% chance to cast 3 charge bolt and struck, 102 to attack rating, 5% life stolen per hit, lightning resistance 11%, poison resistance 8%. That's the best one I've found apart from my Ravenfrost. My Ravenfrost is actually okay. It's like 179 to attack rating, adds 15 to 45 cold damage, plus 16 to dexterity, 40 mana. Cold absorb is 20%, cannot be frozen, has been really useful. But like the rest of my stuff is just crap. I also can't use anything that does reduced resistance. Not reduced resistance, reduced requirement. I can't use any of that because that's basically cheating. But yeah, I've got one page of stash and I can't use any of these. So I've got my Morning Star from the first area and I've got my bow, and they'll stay in here. And then I'll probably end up imbuing another bow and put that in here. I've got one weapon for the future when I eventually get enough strength. So much coffee. I haven't had coffee today actually. But thank you for the bits, Blessed. And the pickle. I saw that. She's like a younger sibling just getting your hand-me-downs. Yeah, that's essentially the concept. But yeah, I also can't use rune words, by the way. I can put like random gems and jewels and crap into an item, but I can't purposely make a rune word. So a lot of the time, like the stuff that I get, I can't use, or I have to throw away. I got an amazing crossbow from Nightmare Baal, and I had to throw it straight in the bin because I can't use crossbows. I'm stuck with bows because that's what my original character had. To be fair, I do prefer bows, but I can't use the crossbows. So she's been running around with like shit bow this whole time. Like her offhand weapon's not terrible now, but we only just upgraded to that like last week. So it can now do 232 to 341 damage, which is kind of nice. And I get some resistances as well with it, but you know, it's not a lot. It's also difficult because when I'm up against the fire immunes, which of course Hell has a lot of, I have got the little issue of only using the fire unless I think I can take the hit. I've also got to get the whole map and kill everything and pick up all the loot as well. So, because that's what I did when I was 12. So yeah, it has taken a very, very long time. Hell has taken so long. There have been some areas where it's taken me like, okay, the Den of Evil took me 2 hours to get past the front door. The Viper Temple took me, how long did that take? It took me about 3 hours. 2 or 3 hours to get my gear back. I think it was 2. to get my gear back from just inside the door. And then I did a super long stream. I went all the way through Luke Lane again because I wasn't strong enough to progress. Welcome in, please. I wasn't strong enough to progress, so I know that when I was a kid, I did at least backtrack a little bit, and I knew I did it in Luke Lane, right? So we went back all the way through all the sand areas, I think almost all the dungeons, and that took us about 12 hours to get back to the Viper Temple, fight the Viper Temple, and then progress. It was a very long time. But it did make her slightly strong enough to actually start doing damage and stuff. Like, my Valkyrie does most of the heavy lifting, honestly. Eliza, I honestly need her more often than not. I'm just going zigzagging through the center at the moment, if you guys are wondering. I'm trying to make sure I get all the enemies and stuff, because I just did a lap of the outside. But yeah, Eliza I often need to bring in just so that I can kill something, because I can't whittle away its health fast enough because she's not strong enough. Yeah, I use my decoy almost non-stop. I'm actually sitting up pretty straight at the moment, bless. So for anybody that doesn't know, my chair snapped during a weekend Easter event that we had, and I'm sitting on my footstool at the moment because I don't have anything else equally or better comfortable to sit on. And my chair arrives like next week, but I kind of am basically sitting as if I'm on a fucking horse on a saddle, so it's really uncomfortable. But yeah, there's no back to it or anything, so we got 100% posture going. I just am fidgeting around a lot, which is why every so often you'll hear me get like a little bit quieter as I'm leaning away from the microphone to fix up where my legs are sitting and stuff. But I'm also like a huge fan of Diablo 2. So Diablo 2 is my favorite game of all time. I love it with a deep, genuine passion. And there's just so many things about it, like the sounds. Hold on. Like that. Just little things like that just make me happy, you know? Like all that stuff. I love it. I love it so much. Like, people often recommend games that are similar to Diablo 2, and I'm like, you don't get it. It's, if I want to play a game like Diablo 2, I'll play Diablo 2. So yeah, Diablo 2 is one of the best games made. I feel that way. I feel like it has a lot of, I don't know, replayability. I am out of arrows. I should be able to kill this little group and go back and try to get a thing. I also love these like fucking cliff lurkers. I love them so much. They're so cute. And the noises they make me happy and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Was it the Tristram music is the best? I like Luke Lane personally. When I finished my original characters in Diablo 2, I basically just like hung out in Luke Lane. I always replayed Luke Lane. And the music is just deeply soothing to me. The other thing too is because this is my first character in Resurrected, I am not playing any time off stream. Or I haven't got any other characters and stuff. I'm fully experiencing the full playthrough in this first character. But I did manage to import my original Diablo 2 characters, not Resurrected, into this game. And when I finish this Kelly character, I will show off my original characters. I've got like 8 of them, and at least 2 of them are OP as fuck, and definitely worth a look. It's pretty good. I'm looking forward to doing that, because like, I didn't know that I could get them in here, and I'm super excited that I can, and they are just like, they're insane. The other thing too is that, so an interesting little story about my original character and the reason why I want to remake her and why this is special to me is my original Kelly Amazon. I used to play on Battle.net and stuff like that, and I'd go into people's games and I basically had a mostly maxed out character, and I'd run around and help them do their quests. And plus, that was really the only way that you could like get these to trigger again, right? And so I used to love running around and helping people and stuff. And I joined somebody's game, and I was coming back into the rogue encampment, and you know how like you drop your money on the ground and stuff to like trade it to somebody? You don't have like a trade menu in this game. So somebody was doing a trade with somebody else. They were giving them money, and they dropped it on the ground right next to the stash as I was running up. And so I obviously, you know, you click to move, right? I clicked on the fucking coin, and I had, you know, a shit ton of coin in my own inventory, but not maxed out. And so I couldn't tell how much money I just picked up. And I'm like, oh shit, you know, if you can tell me how much was on the ground, I can let you know, like I'll drop it and stuff. But they wouldn't take that for an answer. They were like, drop all of your inventory of gold or fuck off kind of thing. And I'm like, you're not having my gold on top of your gold. Like, I earned this shit, you know, it's my money. So anyway, they hacked my character, and they took all of her stats down to 0 at the level that she was. She was in her like 90s and stuff. So basically she couldn't use any of her gear. She couldn't go outside. She couldn't do any damage or anything like that. And basically just like destroyed her. And I went around trying to find like another game that I could potentially get into that I could maybe hack myself, because that was something you could just kind of do back then if you had like Diabolic and stuff. And so I went into another game, and a really nice fellow like had a look at my things and was like, yeah, no, I can fix this. And he fixed her up, but like he gave me all my stat points back, and you know how like you sit there with wherever the fuck it sits, it's got like the plus next to it and stuff. And I started doing my OCD thing. I started remaking her 100% identical to how she was. And he's like, oh no, let me do that for you. And he made her good, and she was not ever the same, and she was not really my character. And I just was like, I never really felt connected to her properly from then on. And so I wanted to remake her into this Resurrected, because I'm like, I would finally have my absolutely like stupid character, and you know, I could play her whatever I wanted and stuff, and that'd be great. Because the funny thing is, when I got Diablo 3, my first character I got in that, my Kelly character, also got hacked. And she didn't get her stats fucked with, but they unlocked a whole bunch of achievements and crap, and Blizzard were not able to wipe those. And like they couldn't figure out where my gameplay and the other person's gameplay overlapped to like reset it back to mine. I was willing to take off like a day's worth of like gameplay, even if it was like a long period of time, but no. So again, I had my Kelly character ruined and stuff. This is the only one so far that has not really been hacked. My Diablo 1 also hasn't been hacked. So I've got 2 that are like not hacked. I've got 2 that are hacked. So yeah. But this is why she's special to me. This is why recreating her is important to me. And I was like, if I was gonna play Diablo 2 Resurrected, I could make any kind of a decent character, right? I could start her out, she could be decent and whatever, but she'd be a dime a dozen character. She would just be the same as anyone else out there. And I just wanted her to be like purposely awful. And it's been so fun. It's been so fucking hard. I'm not even joking. So we've had like some areas like the Cold Plains. Oh my god, the Cold Plains took me 6 hours to clear. There were these shamans, and of course they do fire. And I was very not immune to fire. And of course they resurrect all the, you know, like, I think they were like carvers or whatever the fuck they are out there. And anyway, so they're all fire immune. So it takes me a really long time to kill them. And I couldn't do much damage, and I couldn't take a hit from them. And they were just endlessly resurrecting everybody. And I ended up having to go around and clear everything that wasn't a shaman or like a carver or fallen or whatever. And like, then like basically kite them around the map, trying to get the shamans away from the people, and then trying to kill the shamans one-on-one. And of course, you know, in like the Cold Plains, you've got like that special shaman that does multiple hits and resurrects the other shamans. Yeah, no, he was a pain in the ass because he kept going back. He kept ignoring me and my decoys and stuff and going back to go resurrect the other fucking shamans. Oh my god, it took forever. I had to do it across like 2 separate streams. It was just so long. Shaman resurrecting shit is annoying as fuck. It is when they're immune to fire and I can only use fire. Like, when I eventually make my sorceress character, which will be my next character, right? I don't want to do her back to back to Kelly, but I will make one. That'll be the next one I do. She won't have quite as bad OCD stats. Her stats here, yes, these will be OCD, but her tree stats won't be. Okay, so it will be a bit better for her when I do a sorcerer. She also has a lot more flexibility with weapons that I can use. So, yeah, that will be better too. Yeah. I'm hoping that that run goes a little bit better. Like, I'm still going to have issues because of, like, the character stats limiting what I can and can't use, right? But it won't be as bad as this. And I can swap between, like, I think the fire and the ice and crap, so, yeah. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to making her later. I just don't want to do those two back to back because I don't want to mix up the gameplay, and I also don't want to compare her run to this run. I know when I was a kid, I definitely played Kelly all the way through until she was finished, and then I later played Sorceress after a while. So by the time I played her, it was not so much fresh, but it was nice to kind of go back and go again, you know. Like, I never really get bored of Diablo 2, admittedly, but I do like to sometimes take breaks with the idea that I crave playing it. So, like, yeah, it's the only game where I don't, like, get over it at any point and be like, nah, I don't want to. It's always yes for Diablo 2. Always. You teleport as a sorcerer. I don't know if I did. I don't believe I did use teleportation. You can also get like teleportation wands and crap like that, because when we went up against Travancore and Nightmare, I made a mistake and I cleared the area. Hold on, let me move back from this guy for a second. They should be okay. So, what I mean, fuck off you. How do I get rid of that? Oh, no, fuck off. I'm touching everything. Okay, so when you got the map out, right, you can see like this whole area, right? I haven't gone off into the next area, which is over here, okay? But if I was to move the map, there's no waypoint on this location, okay? So if I came back in and I don't have the waypoint for the next area already, I have to re-clear this whole area before moving forward to the next area, because I'll have to run through this little passage here, okay? So because of that, when I was in Travancore, I rushed Travancore and I rushed down to the Durance of Hate, and I was trying my hardest to try to get to level 2 Durance of Hate so I could get the waypoint, and I could not find it, and I ran out of time and I had to stop stream, okay, which meant that I had to go all the way back out and start in Travancore and clear my way back through, and I didn't really want to. As much as I'm doing the recreation, I kind of wanted to try to at least like clear just the passage, because I did do that a couple of times and I was like, I can get away with this. Game logic determines I can do this. But anywho, I fucked myself over because obviously the council were hella strong and I had left them alive, and I died in like the Durance of Hate level 1, and I had to go back without armor through the council and try to get back to my corpse, and I couldn't do it, and the council killed me 8 times before I was able to successfully get down to my corpse and get my gear and stuff. So I don't want to have mistakes like that again. So when I am playing, if I don't find the waypoint, if there is a waypoint over here, then the next time I play I have to come through and clear all of this shit again. And it gets harder because I've already got the map then. But I have to re-clear it and then go forwards. The only good thing is I get the XP. If I don't die, I get XP, and that is helping. But it does take time. and it is a lot of backtracking and stuff, which, you know, I don't really mind, but I guess maybe from a viewer perspective sometimes that's not the greatest thing. We've nearly got all the way through here, by the way, and then we can go into the next area. But Duress of Hate looks so fucking cool. Duress of Hate is insane. I personally like Diablo's, what do you call it? The chaos thingy. I can't remember the name, but it's like something of chaos or whatever, his area. And I like the River of Fire and stuff on the way to him. I really like that. But whenever I was in like the area where Diablo is, and it's like the Sanctuary of Chaos Sanctuary or whatever the fuck it is, every time I'm in there I'm like, this is clearly Bless, like home. Bless and Triumph is like home, because it's like, you know, they're Chaos Senpai and stuff. So yeah, plus it's really pretty in there too. There's a lot of like stained glass and fire, and you know, it's really funny with the resurrected graphics. It took me until I had the resurrected graphics to realize these corpulents spit corpses. I didn't know that. I didn't know if they ate corpses and spat them, because I could never see it in the older graphics, right? I just see them spit like flesh, right? So, oh, hold on, Valkyrie's dead. I can't move. Oh, there we go. And don't you spit your corpse at me, mate. Let me just get through here. It would be really great if Valkyrie could come back with me, but she's probably not going to. Actually, Eliza would be better to get out here. I try not to die on the steps. I try not to fight on the steps. Or worse. But yeah, these flesh beasts and stuff. Whoa, there goes Eliza. Can I put you up there? There we go. You can probably reach me from there, can't you? I don't think that there is a portal in the Plains of Despair, but there might be. These guys being immune to cold, so whenever somebody's immune to cold, I just think, oh, they're flammable. Same with the poison ones. If they're not immune to fire, they're flammable. That's how I see it. Alright, they can play with her. Now I can move back. No, Valkyrie, I need you to be like in the thick of this, because I can't really take these hits. They nailed it with the graphics in the Resurrected. Oh yeah, they did so great. Mind you, I like this. Oh, I do need mana. Hold on. I like this. This is perfectly fine for me. I need to swap my weapon. Because I played like this for like 20 years. So I'm good with that, you know? I don't really have the mana for you, mate. Apparently I'm not hitting the right button. I might have spammed something else. Because I moved my hand off the thing to hit the button. It's fine. But yeah, I love what they did with it. There's some areas I'm not okay with. Some areas, like for instance where Tyrael is, looks like the floor is more wet, or there's decoration and stuff like that. The Arcane Sanctuary, or Steps or whatever, I love that place so much. It's so gorgeous. I do like what they did with the candles and like some of the debris and stuff around the place, but I like the original more for some reason. And all it is like a cold, unfeeling like set